So basically this is a Lutron Grafik Eye, the QS series. These buttons here along the sides are scenes 1, 2, 3, 4 and off. The buttons over here on the left are the zone buttons. When you select the zone button, it will come up here with a label. So that's pennant, the pennant downlights, the sconces. These are spares, and then the sconces for that side over there. So these are labeled also in here. Normal operation, if I select a scene and I come over here and dim it or raise it up, the next time that scene that'll stay that way until the scene is some scene change happens. But if I press it, it will go back to where it was before. Let's see. These buttons here on the right are basically a master raise and lower. So it'll grab all the zones and dim them up, or dim them down, and it'll keep the ratio. So like that one was stepped down in the beginning. If I was to go down, it keeps the same ratios until they bottom out or top out. And that's always temporary. That's basically it for normal operation stuff. But then this is going to be locked, so that's probably not going to be used a lot.
So if we ever do something here, adjusting is temporary, so it won't affect the programming that we have set up in the outside control.
Essentially, the only time they would ever want to come in here is if they're doing an event and the night event is too dark or it's too bright and they need to fine-tune it.
And that won't happen because we will be a lot of people here, so we better adjust it right there. Yeah, we say we cannot do it. They put the either bright light or the dim. Yep. That's that we are setting up over there.
Now, I came in and took the sheet and then reprogrammed everything because it kind of got a little different, not a lot. Basically, to adjust the programming, and it's in the book, but for a visual, we want to go into programming mode. To go into programming mode, we'll hold the very top and bottom button for 5 seconds. It'll basically start to cycle the lights on the controller. So now we're in programming. We have a menu come up. We have 2 menus that we'll use. There's a bunch of them in here. We have time clock, which we'll go over in a second, and scene setup. The other menus in here are more of the save mode, occupant sensors, which we don't have, zone setup, which is already done unless things get rewired, ecosystem we don't have, shades we don't have, IR receiver we don't have, and backlighting, which is fine where it is at, and diagnostics, which will have technical support walking you through. So we'll skip over all these other ones because they technically should have already been set and done. These 2 are the most commonly used end user settings. So for time clock, we basically select the one we want, hit OK. We can view our events, we can add events, copy basically schedules, delete events, delete schedules, add holidays, set up after hours, end after hours, set the time and date, which should be fine. The location, which should be set daylight savings time, should already be set, and enable, disable. This will be the only way we can enable and disable the time clock. That's why I'm saying there's not an easy way unless we get another wall station to program. So someone would have to come in here and do this, scroll to this, select it, change, toggle it back and forth. And what'll end up happening is someone will forget to come back in here because it'll be late, they're tired, the event ran over, there was a major cleanup, everyone's tired, and I gotta get home, I'm tired, and they're gonna forget to set the time clock, and you're not gonna have an event for a week, and it'll be off for a week, and you'll be thinking it's broken.
We don't want that to happen. Yeah.
So it's kind of a catch-22 with the whole middle of event thing. The ones that we'd generally be using will be basically view event. So if we look at Friday's events, we have a 12 a.m. midnight. It will select scene 7, which is labeled as all night. At sunrise, it will select the scene off. And then at sunset, which is at 4:51, so I guess he will have it. 4:51, it selects the thing. So those are the events that are basically happening on Friday. If we wanted to go back and select another day, we basically use the, clock button to go backwards. Then we can look at Thursdays, which is basically the same thing.
So, but we don't have to go that specific over there because it's already set up.
It's already set.
Okay.
So I mean, that's basically if you just want to look to see if someone
Let's say
was in
if
there.
we want to set up the scene 6, how did you set up the 5 and 6 for the nighttime? Do an example. For example, redo
That's
the
in
5 and 6.
That's in the scene setup, which is the next thing we're gonna do.
Okay.
So we find, I want to add an event. I want to do a 3 a.m. sweep for that thing. So I got it sunset, I got it at midnight, and I have it at 3 a.m. That would be an add an event. So we would just basically add event, find the day we want to add it to. If that's something we're going to do every day, we just pick the first one.
Can we skip on this because I think we don't do it by event. We do it by set up the scenes. We might be changing 1 to 5.
No, but the time clocks are running events.
On events or the time
And
clock?
the event is a selection of the scene.
Oh, okay, I see. So the event you selected from Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday. That's what you're doing.
Yep. Well, you get the day, and then the day will have multiple events that happen throughout the day.
Okay, so that is lengthy. That is lengthy because you're going to be selecting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
No. So we can copy them. If it's going to be 7 days a week, that's better.
But right now we only have for nighttime. Is that right?
Yes.
So we are okay.
Every day has 3 events that happen.
What are the 3 events?
Sunset, turn off. Sunrise, turn on. And then midnight, turn on again.
Okay, every day. That's what we have.
Yep.
Okay.
But if, say, we wanted to add a 3 a.m., this is how we would do it. We'd do that, pick the day, pick time of day, or after sunset, before sunset, after sunrise, before sunrise. But since we're doing 3 a.m., we'll pick that. We'll select the time, select the minutes, and then select the scene we want. We got scene off, day class, all the ones we have. Scene 7 is one we have kind of hidden away for the all-night deal, so we'll pick 7 and then hit OK, and it saved it. Once we do that, we can go back to here, copy a schedule, copy the schedule from Sunday because that was the day we did it, and then basically paste it to Monday and add it. If we wanted to delete that, we can go in, pick the day we want, find the event that we want, the 3 a.m. event. And this is a good point to make sure that if there's going to be multiple events that happen around the same time, that they get some kind of distinguishing thing. Like if we had 2 things happening at midnight, so we don't get them confused, we want basically one to happen at midnight and one to happen at 12:01, or one at 11:59 and one at midnight. Something to distinguish them.
Yeah, the only important thing for us is to keep the facility with light during the night time, and that's why we are using it, because I know we can do many things with this, but that's the only programming that we need at this time.
That's all
Maybe
we got
later
in
on
there
we'll
now.
get more sophisticated, but at this time it's overwhelming for our operations people.
Yep. So that's the nutshell there. Scene setup, much easier. And
That's the most important.
The more common used thing, yes. So we'll select scene setup, go in here. Levels, the labels have already been set, so that's why when you select the scene button here, it comes up with a name, the all night, the day dim, stuff like that. So we don't have to worry about labels. Levels, pick the scene you want. So scene 1 is day class, day dim, night event. Doesn't matter. Pick whatever one you want. Hit OK. It will tell you to set the zones. So now we'll come over here and raise and lower the 4
The levels of light that we want, and once we have it set up, then we say okay. And this is what is already set up right now.
Yep. And then we'll adjust the fade time if we want. Right now it's 3 seconds across the board. That's factory. It works fine for everybody. But we can raise or lower it. So we do that. Hit OK. It'll tell you to set the shade groups. We don't have any, so you can ignore it. Done.
If in the future we want to put shades with Lutron, it will do that.
We wire them up. You'll order the buttons kits that go into here. You'll get a new bottom faceplate,
And we get another control outside for the shade.
You could, or they could be integrated into the scenes.
Or could be the
That's
scene
why
5.
that's why they tell you to set the
Or
shades.
the scene 5 could be the shade. Now that we have 5 and 6
Yep.
scenes,
You could
then we
have
have it 2 nights.
You could have it open shades or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
If that was all we were gonna do, we adjusted our night event to get out of program mode again to 2 buttons. And then you'll select scene 3 and that should be the way
When
it
you
looks.
press the 2 buttons, it's just to save the scene?
It's just to get in and out of programming mode.
Oh, okay.
When you go through all the steps when you're doing the scene setup, when you hit that last OK after shades, it tells you saved. And then it, sends you back to the beginning to do a different scene.
This will be a good guide for when we look at the training book that is right here on the enclosure, on the door. We have all the operations, all the operations
It's pretty
manual.
much on page 16 is
On page
everything
16.
that I just said.
Yeah. So it's very specific. The staff from NSA say they are not interested in knowing because this is going to be a structural maintenance issue. So we just videotape this and send it to you for guidelines. Then you have to look at the book.
And it's even highlighted.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Reggie. Reggie Miller is with Associated Lighting representative. And we have also the 800 number. Reggie, can you stay over there? That can walk the staff to be able to program. You go with your cell phone number here, you're programming. If you get stuck, you look in the book, the 800 number, and you will be able to get clarification.
And the number is also over here.
And it's right there also, the 800 number right there. Okay. And as I told operations, NSA people won't have to deal with this. They only want to meet with the outside control where we have 1 to 4 are going to be the scenes for the people to adjust, and 5 and 6 are only for nighttime, which are exactly the same. Okay.